Hello and welcome to this video where we're gonna talk about how to expand your business to Brazil. Some general recommendations and considerations to take while you expanding your business to the largest country in Latin America. So let's start with why expanding to Brazil. Brazil is one of the largest emerging markets with digital growth opportunities. So we have more than 200 million residents in Brazil, and we have a large consumer market, which is the largest in Latin America, with a growing startup scene and high adoption of technology, youth population, and high penetration of social media, digital banking, and e-commerce. And generally, Brazil is more institutional stable than many other emerging countries, as it is a very large country and has a sophisticated structure. What are the key entry challenges? So we have some complexity and local regulations. First, we have the cultural differences. There are some elements in Brazil that are different than other countries, especially in Europe and US, where, for example, in Brazil, there is a lot of value for the personal relationship. Also, the language barrier. More than 90% of Brazilians speak only Portuguese, so a very small percentage who speak fluent English. So you need to localize your platform or your business in general to be able to adapt and be able to get a lot of Brazilian users. You have some regulatory complexity. You need to understand the local laws and be able to adapt to them, which we'll talk about later as well. And you have strong local competition. So many people in Brazil trust local companies, so you need to have differentiators when you are entering the Brazilian market. So navigating the Brazilian market requires understanding a unique blend of cultural norms, linguistic demands, regulatory frameworks, and competitive landscape. How to validate your business in Brazil? Some of the top tips are running small tests. Try to make a social media campaign or a localized landing page and try to promote it in Brazil within your ICP and see how they react to. Consulting local experts like lawyers and accountants. There are many of them who are specialized in international companies entering Brazilian market. And study the local marketing. There are some dominating channels in Brazil like Instagram, WhatsApp, influencers. So you need to navigate these and create a specific strategy for these audience and these entry of Brazilian market. Also adjust your offer based on cultural and economic realities. A lot of companies, they adjust their pricing in Brazil to fit the audience and the spending power of each type of audience in Brazil. What is the best time to enter the market? So you need to have some product validation. You need to have already validated your business in other markets, ideally markets that are similar to Brazil or have some similarities. Once you also developed an adaptation plan and you run pilot projects, as we said, you can run like an MVP for Brazil or a closed environment test, and be bureaucracy ready. Be ready to navigate tax and bureaucratic requirements in Brazil. Some cultural considerations. In Brazil, it's very common the informal tone. So You need to have a strategy to build relationships between your team or your representatives in Brazil with the key stakeholders or players, whether they are media companies, influencers, suppliers, integration partners. Another aspect is WhatsApp dominance. A lot of international companies they find it interesting that in Brazil, even B2B important negotiations happen in WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is pretty common, and you need to have a strategy and the channels and management of these channels of WhatsApp to talk to partners and clients. There is a strong emphasis on brand image and credibility. So you need to associate yourself with the right people. Many companies associate with famous, reputed people in Brazil to increase their brand authority and image. Also, you need to show a lot of localization, and because people have more familiarity and trust more the local support and local communication in Portuguese. So you have different types of entry to Brazil. The lowest level is working with local resellers and agents. So you have agents and resellers who represent you, other companies, local companies representing you. Another level is Brazilian partnerships, collaborate with local agencies or startups to make like joint ventures or mutual products and have partnership on product level to launch it together in Brazil. The third level is accelerator entry. You can have approval from some incubators. You can apply to many incubators and explain why you think your product is good to be launched in Brazil and maybe get incubated, which they would give you support in all the general things you need like accounting and navigating regulations in Brazil and localizing your marketing as well. And the highest level is having a local legal entity, which called in Brazil CNPJ, which is like a company registration in Brazil. So here you have a local company, but you need to already find your product market fit. There are many sectors with great opportunities in Brazil and a lot of international companies having success in Brazil. They are SaaS companies, fintech, blockchain, educational technology, e-commerce platforms, also health tech platforms. All of these emerging technology and growing trends are working well in Brazil. Also, we need like to clarify in all this industry, AI now is one of the faster in growing. What are the localization essentials? So you need to have a Portuguese user experience, which includes like the symbol of the currency, Brazilian real. You need to have the Portuguese content. Also, local support is important. You need to have some staff who are able to respond in Portuguese to client requests, which will be all in Portuguese. You need to have local payment methods to accept because it's not easy for clients in Brazil to pay international payments. So you need ideally to accept PIX, which is one of the most used payment methods. Also being able to accept installments and boleto, which are also common and desired by many Brazilians. Also, you need to consider the middle class purchasing power in Brazil. So many software companies, for example, when they open in Brazil, they make relatively lower prices if we compare them in dollar, but they are competitive or normal prices in local currency because you need to base on the local competition what they can offer and the local purchasing power. Some additional tips to facilitate your growth in Brazil is attending the top events is important. We have many examples like Web Summit, Rio de Janeiro, or RD Summit, which is a large marketing and sales and technology event that happen each year. So it's always helpful to be there and meet with the local potential partners or clients. You need to have media exposure as well. Try to work with local media companies that are relevant to your industry and niche, and also work with influencers who are specialized and have very relevant audience, and they can introduce you quickly to that audience to help you grow in Brazil. Also, don't forget to have and build always local connections with advisors and professionals in marketing, accounting, and also law. And finally, show commitment to the market. Brazilians appreciate the companies who shows commitment, like you have fully localized experience because you want to be long-term player in Brazil. You are not just like trying to enter Brazil and testing the water. You are very serious, and that will be appreciated by Brazilians. So finally, thank you for watching this. Here are some recommended next steps for you. Start to validate your niche in Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro. Launch just one Portuguese social media account to try to promote your business. Try to establish a local support team or make partnerships for that. And finally, try to book a session with a Brazilian market entry specialist to help you navigate all the complexities of entering a Brazilian market. Thank you very much for watching, and best of luck for you to grow your business in Brazil.